Welcome back, everyone. So for this video, I put together a list of 15 self-improvement channels that I've learned from the most, and I'm going to go through each one and talk about the most valuable things we can take away from them. Although they may overlap on a lot of things, they each have something unique about them that no other channel brings to the table. So, to start off the list, a lot of you guys probably already saw this coming, is Hamza. So, I think Hamza is the best YouTube channel to start off your self-improvement journey for someone that is coming in with no knowledge or hasn't even watched any of the other channels on this list before. I think that starting off with Hamza is a good idea because he talks about pretty much everything that you need to know about regarding self-improvement, but he doesn't go into the same depth that some of these other channels will get into about specific topics. So I think Hamza is a great place to start. A lot of his videos, they can get you into the right mindset of self-improvement. If you're coming from any other mindset, it's a great way to just introduce yourself to the concept of self-improvement. Number 2 is First Man, Chris Sturmey. I think that I've written down some things about each channel here as well. So the one thing that I've kind of thought about with First Man is that he really teaches you about setting long-term goals and the male advantage. The male advantage, he actually wrote a book on that concept. I'm pretty sure he coined the term himself. But he talks about planning your life out as a man and having realistic goals for your time frame. And he talks about what you should be doing in your teens, your 20s, your 30s, and all that. So I think that First Man is very valuable. You should go check him out if you haven't already found him. Number 3 is Andrew Tate. So a lot of you guys might not like Andrew Tate if you already know who he is, but I definitely, there's something unique about him in the way that he presents himself to the audience that you can learn from. What I've kind of thought about with him is he teaches you a lot about the mindset that you need to have to be successful and have a free life, like financially and location wise, like just being able to be a free man. Andrew Tate, he talks a lot about your mindset and the way that you need to think about. Sorry, I'm not editing this, by the way, so if I fumble, it's my bad. Yeah, Andrew Tate, I've watched like a few of his long podcasts, and they're not really that valuable, the podcast, because he just kind of screws around on them. But there's some videos on his channel that he brings up some really good points of the way you need to be thinking. One thing that I can think of off the top of my head that is really valuable that I didn't really hear it from anywhere else is to really mean what you say. So he really talks about how he would tell his brother that he's going to do 3,000 push-ups today, and since his brother knows him well, he's like, oh wow, you really got to do that now. So yeah, Andrew Tate, he's definitely unique, and he teaches you a lot about your mindset and the mindset that you need to have. Number 4 is Elijah Long. I've been watching Elijah Long, well, I've been watching him pretty much the same amount of time as Hamza. He's been on YouTube for a lot longer than most of these other guys, and he's more of like an underground channel. I don't think he necessarily appeals to most people on YouTube because it kind of requires that you have a longer attention span to pay attention and watch his content, because he doesn't really edit or do anything like that. Kind of more like my content. What's unique about him is that he will motivate you when you're on your journey to being successful, and he gives you a lot of tips for people still on their journey. He'll talk about mindset and all that a lot. Just like the first 4 channels are they overlap, but they all present the information in a unique and valuable way. Another thing about Elijah is that he's a really good example of a mature man with a healthy lifestyle. And one thing I've kind of picked up from him is that his spirituality is like on another level. and he's confident, and yeah, he's really in tune with himself, and he's very empathetic to others. So I think that he is very valuable. You should go check him out. Number 5 is Jia Jiang. I found this guy actually around the same time as Hamza as well, but he did this really cool experiment called 100 Days of Rejection, where he goes up to like a commercial place or a business or just somewhere like public that he doesn't have any, like he doesn't know anyone there or anything, and he would come up with a ridiculous request each time to ask like a different person. Like for example, I think the first thing he did was asking someone for $100. So yeah, most of his requests people would probably say no to. He made the request a certain way so that he would get rejected, and it was more of like I hope I get rejected anyways, but if I don't get rejected, then it would be a really awesome thing to happen. There was one video of his that went viral where he asked this person that worked at Krispy Kreme to make an Olympic donut, even though it wasn't on the menu. And it's really inspiring. You learn a lot about how to negotiate with people and get what you want while still being polite. So I think that he'll teach you a lot about social skills, and a lot of stuff that you can learn from him is stuff that you'll need in the workforce, or just to fight for yourself in the world once you're an adult, because you're pretty much by yourself if you don't have the social skills and the skills to be rejected and to ask and negotiate for what you want, then you're kind of screwed. So go check Jia Jiang out if you haven't found him. He'll definitely surprise you. It's really interesting. I binge watched like 30 of them in a row when I found him on like the first few days. It was kind of funny. But anyways, moving on to number 6 is Kevin Samuels. One thing that I think is very valuable that he talks about is men's fashion. And pretty much every other self-improvement channel that I've found doesn't really go into much detail about men's fashion. They more talk about like stuff that you have to do or your mindset or something like that. But Kevin Samuels, he talks about a lot of other stuff like dating and stuff like that. But what I find most valuable and unique about his channel is that he'll talk to you a lot about men's fashion, telling you all the different things that you should buy or have in your wardrobe when you have like the money to buy it, of course, because I can't buy any suits right now. But once I have the money to buy all this stuff comfortably, then it'll be useful to have all this knowledge on men's fashion and how to dress in different situations and all that. So you should definitely go check him out. Number 7 to 10 on here, they kind of overlap on training, but they all talk about different things in a different way. Same thing. So number 7 is THENX, Chris Heria. You guys probably already know who that is, but when I was starting, or before I even started training, his videos were very informative, and he goes through every single level, or every single skill level, a certain exercise that you can do for a certain body part. And he doesn't really talk about nutrition or health that much, but he'll definitely teach you a lot about training and calisthenics, if you're interested in that. Number 8 is Minus the Gym. I don't actually know this guy's name, but he talks a lot. I think he has some experience with in the health field, so he talks a lot about nutrition and training safely, so that you can train sustainably and get a good workout in at home. So Minus the Gym, I'm just gonna move on. That was brain fart there. Number 9 is Jeff Nippard. He doesn't really talk about calisthenics that much, but he if you're someone who likes to go to the gym, then he's definitely your guy. He talks a lot about weightlifting science and nutrition, so it's a lot more in detail and academic. He'll talk about like studies. He'll research studies and show you the studies and all the information about it. So he's definitely valuable. Number 10 is Total Fitness Bodybuilding with Lee Hayward. So this is kind of a personal favorite of mine. I found this guy. He's been on YouTube since like 2010 or something like that, and he has a lot of experience with training, and he's been a personal trainer for decades now. So he has a lot of experience, and he if you have any question about training or nutrition, then there's probably a video on his channel that answers it. Like seriously, this guy's been uploading for like 10 years on like about random questions that you might never even think to have, but he's definitely someone useful to keep in your list of useful channels, because THENX, Minus the Gym, and Jeff Nippard, they don't really have the same volume of content that this guy has here. So Total Fitness Bodybuilding with Lee Hayward, definitely a good place to check it out. Number 11, The Art of Improvement. So this guy, he makes a lot of long form, detailed instruction about self-improvement videos. So he'll make like a video of like everything that you need to know, every different skill that you could work on in self-improvement. It's a lot more in depth than like a Hamza video, for example, but it's something like if you just want to listen to like a 30-minute video about different skills that you can work on or anything like that, definitely an interesting channel as well. Number 12 and 13 here, GaryVee and Becker. So these two guys, they kind of overlap a lot about like the stuff that they talk about in their content, but what I think that they talk about that's kind of unique to the other channels is productivity, business, online marketing, and sales. So these two guys, they go much more in depth on these topics, productivity and online marketing and sales especially. A few of Alex Becker's videos, he talks about like Facebook ads or anything like that. So if you're trying to make money online at all, then GaryVee and Alex Becker are definitely your go-to place to learn more about that skill. Number 13 would be Stephan. So I haven't watched this guy in a while because I kind of already got a grasp on most of the stuff he talks about. But if anyone, it's just here for anyone that might not know. So he talks a lot about managing money and real estate. Those are the two things that really ding in my head when I think of Stephan. If you're like my age, then you probably don't know as much about real estate or credit cards or anything like that. So it's definitely a good place to fill any voids in knowledge regarding managing your money and real estate and like credit cards and your like bank accounts and all that. So definitely a great place to go for that. Number 14 I got down here is GetRight. He only talks about red pill dating concepts mostly in his videos. So he goes much more in depth about the mindset that you need to have when you're going out dating or trying to put yourself out there and talk to women. So definitely a great channel to check out because he talks about a lot of stuff that even like Hamza will talk about dating and red pill sometimes, but he definitely doesn't go in depth. Like GetRight he makes like 10 to 15 minute videos just talking about red pill concepts. So moving on, no, this is the last channel here, illacertus. By the way, I'm gonna make a list in the description so that you don't have to just listen to me, and you can actually just like copy paste the names here. But illacertus, he makes like long form book summaries of like valuable books that you actually want to read, like not just like fiction books or anything like that. He made like a really good video summary of the 48 Laws of Power, and that was really interesting. So if there's any book that, like, especially if you're like me, someone that's kind of beginning on their journey of self-improvement, and it's kind of difficult to just like sit down and read a book from start to finish and like get and completely absorb the information. So illacertus is definitely a valuable channel for anyone that wants to get the 80% of the benefit from reading the book, but without actually sitting down and having to read through the whole thing. And all of his videos are free, obviously, so you don't have to buy the book. And it's just a great channel if you just want to listen to something like it's kind of like a podcast, but he does make good visual. What is it? Whatever, brain fart again. Sorry. So that's pretty much it for the video. Anything else I want to say here? Actually, I'm gonna cut. I'm glad I took a second to think about this because I almost forgot to say the most important part about this video. So, what I'm gonna do on my channel is I'm going to make a playlist of all the most valuable YouTube videos that I've learned from, and just in general self-improvement videos that don't overlap too much, and they talk about their own original points. So I'm going to make this playlist for free. Anyone that wants to look at it, obviously it's just open source for anyone that is curious about it. I'm just going to over time put, whenever I find a new video that I'm like, wow, that's like really, that's awesome, like that I gotta keep that down. I'm actually gonna keep it in a playlist on my channel. So for anyone that's curious about that, you can go look at that. And with that, that's the end of the video. Yeah, this was a good video, I think. If there's anything that I could have done better this video, actually please let me know in the comments, because I'm really trying to work on my technique and my skill making videos and engaging my audience. So with that, please like and subscribe if you're new, and that's it. See ya.